looking. Mike's is on. Recording. We are mint. Well, everybody, we don't need to introduce this this man here. A bit of a legend in the Ards Peninsula, but you're spreading your work all over the place now because you have a side hustle to the contracting.
Oh, the dyno one?
Aye.
This is important anyway. For me, this is just as important.
Aye. But like, we've met you a few times through the GRASSMEN brand, but it's always been for charity. At our HQ, we're doing a charity dyno, and now with our big mate Jimmy Mackay, and you've always been there, you know, giving up your time, giving up your dyno, and giving it a run of battering, because that has to be hard in a dyno.
We do it for a passion, and we also do it for a charity. I think more people should be doing things for charities, in my opinion. You never know when you need a charity, especially for younger generation and kids. And this cancer seems to be every time you're talking to somebody, it's cancer or they seem to have some element. Like, so. You're
right, and that's what I say. So it's like, you know, and I think in our case, you, myself, and Big Jimmy, it's the big man with the big heart.
Yeah.
But you've been absolutely fantastic. But like, I mean, we're in your shed. I'm just turning the camera to a wee look round. He loves his deers. We can see that. Well, he has to. You had a couple of New Hollands not that long ago.
Didn't last long. One decided it didn't want to stay in the yard any longer, so it decided to burn itself out on the side of the Grailway Road. And then we got a wee change. The second one we had bought, we just decided to go for another deer again.
Aye.
Back to green and yellow.
Ironically, we were working on buying a Smith trailer at the same time. You were working on the Smith trailers, but we were told to wait until we seen your trailers, because you being you, Brian,
I begged them.
Everything has to be different. But you get your triaxles a foot shorter.
Yeah, I begged them to make them 24 foot. I didn't want to go, we wanted to go more than 22 foot tillers, but we didn't want 25 foot tillers. Mm-hmm. So we wanted the extra axle in them for braking sufficiency, and we wanted them for carrying efficiency for an extra spring and another axle. But we didn't want to go with 25, so that's why we went the 24, just to give us that extra carrying capacity, but also flotation. Now this year has been one of the wettest years we have had, and regards flotation was absolutely brilliant. Like, you know.
But everybody's fear, everybody I took the R's to for a wee run, loved it. Oh, but I wonder how it would do in a wet year. Well, give us the answer.
Brilliant, first class.
Well, Glenn Wallace told me they have a triaxle.
First class.
And he said the triaxle was easier bringing the maize out of the harder fields than the tandems.
When it was wet this year now, you didn't fill them, you couldn't fill them, but you filled the front of the tiller and you used your initiative. If you were coming round to the gate and it was 3/4 full, you let the tiller go out the gate. You didn't start to mess about in the field. No, definitely a good job. Definitely a good job. We wouldn't go back to the smaller trailer, like, no way. And we do like the carrying capacity. I think it's first class. We run the smaller tillers for years. Another thing which we did notice, the buck rake man gets far more time to roll between the tillers.
You're not Mr. JCB or Mr. Volvo.
No.
You're Mr. Komatsu, and have been as long time.
Yes, we have. We've run the first one. We run the first one 6 years, and we changed it to this one in 2014. That's 2014.
So she's 8, 9?
Yes, she is. And you look at the paintwork on her. The paintwork, and yes, we have touched the ballast weight up a couple of times. Regards to the rest of the paintwork, I don't think there's any other paintwork is as good.
And is she a good machine?
First class.
Honestly?
First class.
If I told you to try something different, where would you go?
We'd like to try 2 machines, actually, so we would.
What would you like to try?
I would like to try a JCB. I would also like to try a case.
Where is a Komatsu 320 PZ in relationship to our JCB range? Is that a 435 machine?
In 2014, when we bought that, that was the same as a 435. And my mate bought a 435 within the same week.
Yeah.
And at the time I bought that, she was 22,000 dearer than the JCB. In that £22,000, £5,000 of that was extra warranty because I took a 5-year warranty plan with that shovel at the time I bought it, which was £5,000. So if you take the 22,000 minus the 5 brings you down to 17. That was 17,000 dearer than a 435 at the same time. Me personally, I thought it was a better shovel, and I still think it's a better shovel than the very first 435s. My mate's had 2 sets of brakes in his 435, has had plenty of issues with his 435. I haven't spent anything on that shovel whatsoever. And in the warranty, and touch wood, yes. And in the warranty, the only one thing in the whole 5 years that gave any bar was the door handle. And it wasn't this door handle. It was the door handle here for holding that door open. And that was the only thing that I spent in 5 years warranty on that shovel.
Well, I know when the shovels are in the quarry scenario, like they're rugged. Look, it depends where you go around the world. You step over into like Australia and New Zealand, and there is no other shovel for pushing grass than the JCB.
Yeah.
It's their mentality. Go down south, and it starts to get very mixed. The Volvo comes in.
Yeah, well, the Volvo, to me, never have went that road really, to be honest with you. One thing that we don't like about the Komatsu, and it's only one thing, is a bit slow on the road. We would have loved her a bit quicker on the road. She's 40k, and when she sees a hill, she's a hill sniffer. She sniffs the hill, and
is that the one thing you can't map out of?
Yes, it is. Yes, unfortunately.
Well, moving on to some of your tractors here. So you've been contracting, so I remember you, one of the harvesters I drove at the time I worked for Eddie Gamble was a 7400, which was an X-Horner machine.
That's correct, yes.
And what a good going baby she was. But you had, you're not just the man that buys tractors on contracts, you tinker with everything.
Oh, why, yes, if we can.
You made a big improvement to those pickup rails.
Done the pickup, yes.
And John Deere took that design on.
That's correct, yes.
You're at that level.
We speeded the auger up, we changed the torque, and because you speeded it up, you changed the torque then in the slip clutch as well. You also made the steel plate, which was a curved steel plate at the back of the
which made
auger.
A massive difference.
Brilliant. It would have gained 1.5 to 1.8 mile an hour.
Yes.
Your harvester spout was able to tell you because your spout didn't jump up and down. Your spout sat the whole time. Yep, it did. Yep.
They used to do
And when you speeded the feed roll, or when you speeded the auger up, and you also put the steel at the back of the auger, the spout was like that all the time.
But you ran John Deere's for years, and you made all those improvements.
Unfortunately, John Deere didn't take all your improvements on. Unfortunately.
What are you running now?
We're running Krone.
Is it
One
handy?
Krones.
Or do you have it? Is it here in the
Oh,
yard?
yes, it's next
We
door.
don't.
Next door.
Tell me now, as we walk next door to see the Krone, I wouldn't mind. There's a 6R175.
2 new ones.
So you went for the longer wheelbase for the bigger trailers.
We did, yes.
Just to give you that.
Heavier.
Does it make a difference?
It does, yeah. It's heavier. It's heavier back end in them. It's a heavier diff in them. Didn't have any problems with overheating or any of that problems with the smaller tractor, but we just went for the 175s over. You have a hydraulic lock and diff as well. The 175 has a heavier front axle and it has a hydraulic lock and diff, where in a 145 and a 155 it's an LSD diff. And I think the hydraulic lock and diff is a better grip and diff. That's in my opinion. She's heavier as well. We go for the direct drive gearbox. The direct drive gearbox is 600 weight heavier than the auto power gearbox.
Direct drive? I thought people were all away from the direct drive.
No, I'm still a big direct drive fan. We have now 7 direct drives, 2 Varios, and 3 power quads. 2 power quads maybe left. So all being well, one there changed. It'll either be direct drives.
Oh, Birdie told me you were tempted to try a class one.
Yes,
time.
I was. Yes, I actually had one bought off Michael Irwin's, and then unfortunately, he left them for a while. My salesman,
he's back.
He left them.
He's back.
He left them for a wee while.
That can happen. So, what's going on in here?
We're cutting end plates for another shed.
You're doing what?
Cutting end plates, doing end plates here. End plates for putting up another shed.
Are you making shades?
We're making sheds, making a few sheds in the winter time. Keeps us busy, keeps everybody busy. There's a few in the other shed and diggers out.
There was a great little tool we made back in the day.
Brilliant. Have that wee shovel now 10 years. And I bought it with 4,000 hours on it. I think it's nearly 11 on it. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant shovel.
Brian, the big question. You were cross, so you went and bought the Krone.
Very cross.
And you never looked back?
No. And at the minute, I'll not be looking back. We had a 7980, and the pickup was that disappointing that we changed it. 2014, we kept it 6 weeks, and we changed it and bought a first 1100, run it 4 years. We bought a second 1100, run it 4 years, and now we run a new 1180. We bought it last year. It didn't come now to the end of second cut.
You were on about, you have a second harvester, is that?
700,
That's
yes.
a 700.
Maybe 700.
And you were on about maybe changing it?
Yes.
You looked at Deere again?
Did look at Deere. We looked at Deere. We
Didn't just
didn't do it for me. Definitely didn't do it for me. They need to talk to the end user a bit more. They need to put a premium axle on it and put suspension in it. I have suspension in the cab and the suspension in the axle. And when you drive something with suspension, the tractor has suspension, you're paying a premium price. They should have kept the old harvester as a cheaper version, the way Class have an 860, or you can go to a 940.
Yeah.
In the new premium harvester, they should have had suspension.
Am I right in saying, just whilst we're on the harvesters, it hasn't all been perfect here either. You tried the worm, but you didn't like it.
No, it was a complete disaster. An absolute disaster. The
See,
pickup,
you're back to your straight line of tines.
any harvester, Krone harvester that comes into Ireland, straight tines. Everybody's back to straight tines. We're back to a modified bar here as well. That's modified here. Just a crack here, we've changed, this is all changed.
Yes.
There's far more flights on it, the flights every 6 inches. It's
Yes.
a balanced auger now as well.
But you would have took the auger off yourself, you told me.
I did, yes. We took the auger off ourselves on
Yeah.
the last 1100, straightened it up and took it to Malust to get it balanced. Now all Krone harvesters comes out, has a balanced auger and extra flights.
So what you're telling me is, through Farmhand and JP Duffy, who we know very well,
big
great
time.
man,
Great.
they listened.
Brilliant, yes. Plate in the side, 6mm, just to give a bit of bar. It's now 10mm well locks. Changed that. Changed it on the side of it here. There used to be a different bracket on the other one, you can see. Done away with that. Put a far stronger plate here. Grass can't wrap because there's nothing to wrap on it anymore. They speeded the auger up, so when the auger speeded up, that means your torque is less torque and it's less problems with the chains. There's a lot of wee modifications. Another thing they're doing now, as you'll see as well, is you're tailing the wells. Your wells is all tailed. That means there's no cracking. It eliminates cracking. Good job. But you'll see all manufacturers, trailer manufacturers, tanker manufacturers, is all starting to tail the well. So obviously, you can see it here,
Yeah.
tail. And it obviously, that's the way to go forward, like that, you know, and
Yeah.
they have listened. Like.
On the John Deere, to get back to them, you liked the concept of the non-blue engine,
Oh, great job.
and you liked the new 30R head.
My problem was that John Deere come over in 2014 to see me. I was having a lot of bar with tines, and they brought me one tine, which I still have in my shed. They brought a thicker tine. They should have brought me 100 tines, and I could have put the 88 of them on and kept a few spare.
You're still a big John Deere man.
Oh,
with your
big time.
tractors.
Oh, big time. Big time. I still would have, if the money had been right, I did think about changing the new 9.7, but I was very disappointed on the accelerator of the flow, your Krone, your Class, everything else has the plate that come up tighter to the blower. Why John Deere hasn't brought that in, I don't really understand that.
But if you were changing, it would probably be to the Deere,
Yes,
if you had to.
yes.
If the Krone didn't exist tomorrow.
Yeah, yes, good possibility, yes.
Aye. No,
For dealer as well. The dealer's a lot closer. Very good service, very good service.
How did you get into remapping the tractors?
We used to sell Stein bars. We would have sold quite a few, 50 to 60 Stein bars a year. Steinbar then became very expensive. So 2014 we had 8, maybe 7, 8 tractors that we were on to do, maybe 15 or 16 tractors for other people to do. So we decided to buy the tool, buy the computer, find the right man to write the files for me, and we went that way. And haven't looked back. 2019 was maybe one of my best years. We done 367 tractors. We get problems with AdBlue and DPFs and EGRs and all sorts of stuff.
All that stuff that's meant to be there.
All the stuff is supposed to be there. Well, Russia hasn't got it, and South America hasn't got it, and New Zealand hasn't got it, so.
You were saying to me then that what you're seeing now as a trend in new tractors, they're not, as the regulations have got tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, they're not putting up the par.
No, definitely not. 7, 8 years ago, if you done a John Deere 140, I've been doing as near as 140 would have been doing. 138, maybe 142
yes.
at 1,000, where now you do that on a new 145, you should be doing 116 at 1,000. So you might come out to 142 or 143 at picking out at 800 PDO speed, but before she would have done that at 1,000. So everything used to be downward at 1,000. If you got a book, it was downward, that's what it was at your 1,000, but everything has changed. You find since the emissions has got tighter, the horsepower's got less.
Is this the tinkering shed?
Oh, this is the workshop. We're tinkering at 65, putting a few electric lights or a few lights. We lack no problem. Yep.
So is this where the magic happens?
Yes, we could say that.
What's up with our 6.9 in the corner here?
Oh, the normal head gasket.
That's a John Deere thing.
Just a John Deere thing. We're on the way back up. We're back an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour. We'll hopefully have her finished. 65's just getting a few side lights, side lights on it, new battery.
And would you fit her about doing a wee bits of work for
we do a whole lot of bits and fittering about. Usually more John Deeres than you would. The minute you have a John Deere, a Massey, and an old MTX in here, which is getting a diesel injector pump. Mintech Solutions, which is Dick Cusack, is just down beside us. So.
Good old buses there though.
That's a good tractor.
Good old workhorses.
Good, simple old bus. It's just here to get a bit of cosmetics.
Do you work mostly in this shit, Bryan?
Yes, usually this is.
That's why the heater's on.
This is yeah, they're in here doing the mechanic, or I'll be in the other shed welding. They're one of the two. And then next door we'll have the dyno as well. That's next door again. Yeah.
But like you see the likes of the dyno days and that, I suppose, you know, there's a lot of money gets raised for charity. You're giving up a bit of your time. It feels good whenever you hear some of the stories about some of the things that, and you know, that's all I can say is a massive thanks, like on behalf of Jimmy and anything you've done for us. Like it's a super job, and
I don't mind doing it at all. I enjoy doing it. Like I really, you know, if you give up 3 or 4 Saturdays in your year, what is it like?
For sure, when you see there,
I really enjoy it. Like I do enjoy the buzz. I do enjoy the crack, and you meet friends that you haven't seen for a couple of years, and it's great.
And you seen there, you know, when you were down at Jimmy's, you seen, you know, James Curry, who was the one that asked James to do it for him, and his 2 wee boys running around, and you know, a young cub rung the bell.
It's brilliant.
The cancer not that long ago, and you know, and that's a family just wanting to give a little bit back. I think it's fantastic. You like your Red Rock tankers?
Good tanker.
They've done well for you.
Good tanker.
Well,
Great firm to work with.
They really put the push on us last few years. I noticed there one thing as I walked down past, you've a wee bit of every type of slurry equipment. I see all the brands in there, but I seen tram spread.
Yes.
Some bits of tram spread kit.
Two front tram spreads. Brilliant. Fantastic.
They're really thought highly of in Scotland now.
Fantastic. I'll buy more. And I mean that. I will buy more.
I've seen that at Watson's now. They were big advocates of the tram spread.
You got to roll in 200, 400 or 600 metres. No problem at all. Brings it in. It's 2 motors on. First class. Absolutely fantastic.
You haven't went down the route like Big Jimmy tried there with the pump. Big Jimmy made the
Oh, he did a good job.
The pump, you haven't thought anything like that, or?
No, not yet. We have the, I don't know where you see it, we have the compressors on the,
I see it. Oh, I did see it.
see the difference in the tires
Oh, you were telling me about that earlier on.
and the chassis. The chassis is different.
Did them two come at the same time?
Yes.
And did they do roughly the same work?
This one does far more work. This one, because that's a heavier, that's a road tire. And they're both on the second set of tires. But as you can see where the spring hanger goes on. This one here is cap higher. The tail was supposed to be the same as this, but they forgot.
Oh dear.
That was Willie forgot to put it in.
Whoops. Well, look, Brian, thank you for the look around. It's fantastic. There's one thing I love doing is coming and seeing a man that, because you didn't start out with a big farm.
Started with nothing.
Exactly. You built your contracting business, what we've seen here today, yourself.
Yeah, myself, yep.
You worked night and day, and you started with your first machine, and you went through, I don't know how many John Deere Foragers you told me you had.
14 in total.
14. You're now in Krone, you know, and you're always pushing on. You're the first man, I think, up here, brought the 3 axles up.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Then we copied.
Now people have seen how they went, like there will be more that'll buy triaxles.
Yeah.
Definitely more.
Well, Brian, thanks very much for all your help.
Thank you.
Thanks for the look round. And, you know, that's what I say, your charitable efforts.
If there's any more that we can do,
I know.
don't be scared to ask.
I will do. Cheers, boy.
Anytime.
Thank you.